The lesson.
Oh yeah.
Lewis Spears,
Hey mate.
thanks very much for rolling through.
No worries. It's good to be here at Fresh, whatever the numbers are. That's cool.
Now, interestingly enough, you're the first comedian that we've actually sat down and had a chat to. Usually,
Oh well,
it's
you guys have
DJs.
jumped in the deep end with me.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah. Well, I've heard good things from Greeley. You know, he was just like, you got to bring him in. He's, he kind of mentioned that he compared you to an artist called Cursor. In the sense that Cursor became very successful without the, I guess, the push of commercial radio. He kind of popped it off through the internet.
Yeah.
And, now that's really, where the way people are doing it. So he kind of created a new lane, and that's kind of what Greeley compared you to in the sense of comedy. Because you're 100% independent.
Yeah, I've got no manager, no agent. I've had no mainstream support up until now. We've got the radio show, but that's very, very recent. And yeah, so and I'm always like humbled when I get compared to Cursor, because I suppose from a business standpoint, at least, and like a methodology as well of like the independent and sticking with fans and the online route and having a very loyal fan base, I really look up to him for that, and I get a lot of inspiration from him and what he does, not just musically from listening to him all the time, but also just business-wise and as a friend as well, just talking to him every now and then. It's really cool. So I'm always kind of humbled when I get that comparison, because it's not an accident, I would say. I just released my comedy special, Death Threats Don't Scare Me, and what that is like what you would see on Netflix, a filmed show shot in like 4K with about 7 different cameras, and I don't do that every year. That's the first time I've ever done that, just because I wanted to do it right, and I kind of had this 4-year plan to work up to doing this comedy special, and we crowdfunded it, and it ended up going really well. So initially I asked for $15,000 just for half the budget, and I was going to pay for the rest of it myself, but we smashed past that in 2 hours. And by the end of the campaign, we ended up raising more than 70 grand, and it became the biggest crowdfunded comedy special worldwide.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And that's just from, I guess, the support of my audience, from me putting stuff out for 4 years, never asking for anything, and just trying to do the best I can and being honest about, I suppose, my own financial situation, and how telling them exactly how I'm doing, bringing people along for the journey, so that when the time came for me to go, hey, I've been doing this for ages and now I need your help to get to the next level, they stepped up, and it was mind blowing. I still can't get over it.
Wow. So that was, you dropped that, this year, last year?
Yeah, a couple of months ago, about 4 months ago, we dropped it.
And so when you say it was, you raised 70 grand of crowdfunding, basically what you're saying is that's donations that is made from your fan base directly.
Yep.
And
so
nothing but that.
Yep, nothing but that. So we had, there's a few options if you want to do a comedy special. The most common one here in Australia is to do it through ABC, but you don't get much money, and you have to keep it to a certain time limit. And sometimes with TV, not ABC, but other, if you went the more commercial route, there's ad breaks, so they would chop it and edit it. And there's and also with commercial and with money comes constraints. So you can't joke about this, you can't joke about that. And I felt like I was at a really good place with my audience, and I feel like the jokes that I'm telling and the shows that I'm putting on, I'm really trying to push boundaries. And I just felt like this is potentially my only chance to own the first one. So it's mine. I've just put it on my website as a $5 digital download, and that'll just sit there forever. And I thought, I've got one chance at it. I'll take a crazy risk and see what happens. And yeah, like I said, man, they stepped up above and beyond expectations. I was only asking for 15 grand, and I was going to pay for the rest with my own, all the money that I had in the world. And then that happened, and we broke world records, which is crazy.
So you wanted 15 grand and you were prepared to dump in 15 grand. So that's 30.
Yeah.
But you ended up with 70.
Yeah.
So it's like double of what you needed plus an
Yeah.
extra 10.
I know. I know. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't have the words to express the gratitude because I knew I could raise 15, but this is like another level.
And then, so how does one then go about putting something on Netflix? Because Netflix, you know, that's a big platform. That's huge. So as an independent, because I would have thought you had to be on some sort of label or, you know, to get on a platform like that. But how did you manage to do that?
Well, I'm not on Netflix. I'm just streaming on my own website.
Okay.
Just as a digital download, which is what Louis C.K. has done before me, and that's worked well for him. Netflix would be an amazing goal. I would love to put it on Netflix, but Netflix, from everything that I've heard, they come to you. There's no email, there's no phone number. They come to you. I mean, they don't. You know, they're the biggest entertainment thing in the world now. That's what I mean.
Thinking, yeah.
So I'd love to do it on Netflix, but it's also the kind of thing where now that I've done this myself and I completely own it, now if they ever did come to me, I could be like, hey, I'll make a new one for you and you can have my old one for free. And instead of releasing one on Netflix, you do two at once. And I feel like it's just a cool little thing where I had my shot to own my own comedy special, which doesn't happen ever in comedy. And it's just something that'll sit there and I can just be like, oh, I did that. Well, you know, it wasn't just me and the audience, we did that. So that's cool.
Dope. And then, so, I mean, without getting specifically into numbers, obviously you've got it, you pay to make it, you got it on your website. You said people got to pay $5 to download it, and then they've obviously just got it forever, and it's been doing well. I imagine.
It's been going great. So everyone who contributed got it. It wasn't like you got to do it and then pay again. So everyone who contributed got it. And then, it's just sitting there, you know, similar to how an album would be on iTunes before streaming ruined everyone's lives. So, it's just sitting on my website as a $5 download, and it's just something that just ticks over. You know, I plug it in all my videos, and it's really cool. You know, people can watch it and just download it, and people put it on TVs. And the coolest thing is getting photos of, like, especially during the week of release, just people organizing watch days. Like, I get photos of 5 people in a bedroom just with popcorn. They've made food and drinks, and like we're about to watch it. Like like viewing parties just amongst friends, and that's so cool. Like, just to see, I don't know, my comedy bringing people together. I suppose it's really cool to see, and it has gone well because obviously the crowdfund, and then people are still getting it. So it was for something that was such a huge risk, I suppose, that no one had really done before in Australia, at least. It's great to see that it's paid off, and it's very like fulfilling, I suppose. It's being like, oh yeah, I was doing the right thing because it was my plan for 4 years. I didn't tell anyone about it, but that I was always working towards this comedy special, and now it's happened, and we're doing this tour, and I'm kind of thinking like, man, what's the next thing that today seems impossible, but 4 years from now it might happen. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll let it hit me.
Yeah, word.
The lesson.
927. Oh, yeah.